doing a ride review for.
I haven't done one in a really long time, so it's exciting. I'm excited. So, what did you think?
I really enjoyed it.
We both stayed awake for the whole thing,
Yeah, it was
which
actually
is
relatively short. And also, we didn't have food, so we're wondering if these have been like food induced comas that we go through. So, um, companion, if you're not sure, I had seen a teaser trailer early last year. I mean, not early last year, late last year. And I kind of forgot about it, but I thought, oh, that looks interesting. And then we started getting bombarded on our Instagram by the targeted ads for this movie. And then it has like 96% on Rotten Tomatoes or whatever. And I was like, oh, I forgot about this movie. I was like, let's go see it. And so we just came and.
oh my gosh, I loved this movie. It was so cool. I think that it's what people are scared of when people are like, "Oh my God, AI is gonna take over the world." I think it's very fear-inducing for a lot of people. It kind of reminded me of it's another one, AI robot or something like that. No, where the guy controls some robot chick and then she overtakes him or something like that. That's kind of what it reminded me of. Oh yay, no sun anymore in our face. Okay, so what did you like about it?
I liked, yeah, pretty essentially that. I always like social commentary movies, like as to what's going on in the times and essentially magnifying people's fears. And people are scared of AI. And to me, to an extent, it's like you don't want to be scared of it, then either learn about it or be better than it. Like most people are afraid that AI is going to replace us. It's like, okay, so then make yourself not replaceable by AI and like to focus on the things that make you different from artificial intelligence and be actually intelligent and not.
Artificially intelligent.
Yeah. And a lot of conveniences and things you don't want
Quick
to be.
fixes.
Yeah, things you don't want to be inconvenienced by. So essentially, uh, the girl's the companion to this dude, and it was fascinating too because she has her whole implanted in her memories their whole how they met together, and they go on to explain later. It was like, well, like these aren't. Well, he says like this. Well, like this didn't. That memory didn't happen. It's not a real. He's like, well, it's real to me, and we've had discussions about truth, and I've been very now aware of the word truth. I used to think it meant something very, um, what do you call it?
Like concrete.
Yeah, concrete and verifiable, and it's been interesting. I guess the way people use it, and it's very personal, and so personal also doesn't make it concrete, and it's a weird mix because. Yeah, she's right. It's real in her head, so it did like in a way, even in our head, this thing that we experience is very real, but also someone else's experience of that same moment cannot might have taken place a different way to them, like, and it's more associated, I guess, with the emotions it makes you feel, and so that's been very that was an interesting part. The other thing is kind of the relationship part is that people like at least the guy seems like you want someone you can control, and as soon as they
Have
start
their own
disagree
opinion.
yeah, they start disagreeing with you, you don't want that. And it's like I get a lot of videos like stuff with like relationship stuff like that's going on more like in the younger, like I guess the single life, I guess, and meeting people, and that seemed to click for me right now. Is like I'm wondering if this is what's going on. Like people, as soon as somebody disagrees with you, like you think this is a deal breaker, and like that's kind of not how relationships work. It's like in any type of relationship, not just romantic relationships. Like there's gonna be disagreements, so it's almost like it should almost be more how do you both handle each other's disagreements, and I guess how much disagreement is there going to be, because also you don't want to be in a relationship where you're constantly disagreeing, but also um, there are ways to disagree correctly, and
We'll have discussions and um, give and take in a relationship instead of I'll give or I'll take.
right. And so that was an extra fascinating part to me, is that I don't know, it makes it sound like we've become so selfish in that sense that we just want to hear that we are right, and that we want the world around us to cater to our thing, and like that's also not the way the world works. And I don't know how to finish that sentence exactly. Not doing it.
I'm like a jerk. Um, what I liked about it, it had so many different thinking points to it. In that it deals with artificial intelligence. It deals with like people's emotions, right? And um, getting out of a difficult situation. Oh man, it just has such good content in it, and I feel like it was very smart also. And I was like, oh, it was just like it's very tickling to my brain. This movie,
Hmm.
like it quickly shot up to one of my favorites.
Yeah, same.
Um,
It's exactly what I thought. I was like, oh dang, like this is gonna be one of my top movies of the year, and that's barely the start.
yeah,
Like it's gonna be a
yeah,
hard one to top.
agreed. It was so fun. Like you walk out of there thinking, oh, there's so many. It's such a hot topic movie, and I'm not sure if a lot of people are even aware of this movie, right? Because like it was sort of on our radar, sort of not, but like golly, it talks about um masculinity and femininity and control factors and AI and world situations and power and how people make their money and how they care to spend their money. Like those are like hot, well, at least for
Yeah,
me, they're like hot topics, because in life you're always wanting the best for yourself, right? And how do you get the best for yourself right now is you make money. Well, how do some people make money? Some people are grunt workers, some people actually put in the time and stuff, some people are doing bad things to gain a lot of money. And the assumption that I've heard it before, like here where we live, people are like, "Oh man, they have a mansion. Oh, you know where they're getting their money. It's dirty." All of this other stuff. And so like that is in there too.
hmm,
And no, I mean some people are hard workers or good investors, or they have their different ways of acquiring.
yeah. And then I guess in those sense, like I feel like I've started realizing this more through political stuff, that like making billionaires sound like the enemy, and flip side, like let's say you actually worked your butt off and became a multi-billionaire, and like would you want people saying like, oh, you did it like dishonestly or whatever, or blah blah blah? And I don't know, like everyone has pretty equal opportunity to do it. These people actually did it, and the ones that aren't doing it, you're not getting the results because you're not doing it.
And I wonder at that point, like, do those people even care?
No.
Like, I wouldn't.
Yeah.
I don't, and we're not billionaires. We're not even millionaires, and I don't care. Like, I don't care what you what you think uh that I do. You just have some snarky people sometimes.
Yeah, but
What do they say? Oh, my haters gonna hate. Like, yeah.
yeah. Um So it was a really fascinating movie.
It was. I don't think that it's necessary to see in theaters already, like for visual effects
Mm-hmm.
or for
Sound.
something, anything cinematic, right? Like it's not the sound design and all of that. Like, it's really cool. The content of it is, it drives it. Like it absolutely drives it to where I would want to go and see it again. Or like when it comes out, for sure I'm watching it
Yeah, for
again.
sure we're owning that one. Yeah.
Yeah. And it wasn't, we thought like, because it's kind of twisted. There's some like twisty things in it, and it's not A24, but it's like typical.
It
It
does have a
feels
very
like,
A24 vibe, like very indie or whatever. And I always like that because like uh I know some of us older ones like the whole nostalgic like look to a movie. Like it felt very, I don't know, like the graininess or something, like felt like it was possibly shot on film or something. And but I like when they bring like the modern tech stuff into these old school things, like the style, in the style of an old school movie. And even the music like might have been new, but it kind of had like old school vibes to it. You remember the music at all?
yeah, at the end,
Yeah,
like
yeah,
it's the Bee Gees, right?
yeah,
And
yeah.
like it feels like it has an 80s, 90s feel, well, more like 90s feel to it. And maybe that's who they tried to cater to
Mm-hmm.
because, I don't know, we're looking for things to do, things to watch.
Yeah,
But oh, I really love the content of it. I'm trying to think of like something that I would want to discuss
yeah,
with
it's
you with
hard.
it, but it's like it's super fresh, so I can't even like, I also don't want to do any spoilers because it is so new.
Right.
Because didn't it just come out this week?
Yeah, it just came out this week.
But I feel like if I don't do spoilers, we're not going to revisit this.
Yeah, probably not. Because
I don't
it's
even know what there is to spoil.
yeah, I don't think so either. Because even I consider like it's the whole AI robot thing a spoiler. And no, even from the trailer, I think from that teaser trailer, I kind of had an idea that this is, I think this is like an AI bot thing that like,
Right. You know, okay, so here's like one thing about it is I know that a lot of people are like scared of AI, or we end up treating it very human a lot of times. Um, okay, I'm saying we, but I do. So like I'll be on Chat GPT or something, and then I ask I ask it for something, and I'm like, thank you.
oh yeah, yeah.
Like I'm
Well,
always saying thank you. Like I don't know why I'm so polite to like this learning.
but I've heard people even did that with Google. Like, can you like, where are these please or whatever? And then, but you,
Oh, I actually do that sometimes. Well, I used to
yeah,
ask like please and then say thank you to Google. And then now with Siri, like I'll say, "Hey, what I'm not even going to do it cuz she's going to start talking to us." But then I'll say something or like ask for something, and if she does it correct, then I say thank you. And then she's like, "Well, a pleasure," or "You're welcome." And I'm like, "Why am I talking to this thing? Like it's like it knows what I'm saying." And then I'm like, "Well, that's how you learn also." So I think that like in the future when it takes over the world, whatever, it's not in our lifetime, I don't think, but um I think that it's learning, like it learns the greetings and how to attend, and I don't know why I say thank you to my stuff. Do you ever say thank you?
no, not really.
How impolite.
Yeah, I know you're a machine. Just kidding.
And the other thing was a machine, or like smile and act happy. Like what is happiness? Like could a robot know happiness? Could it show emotion? Don't know. I don't think so. I mean, I'm sure that programming, you could program something to do that, right? To have that kind of reaction.
Yeah, and there's something about that too. That like when they said that, and then kind of later gets thrown back in his face. It's like it's easy for us to like kind of throw out like advice and problem solve for other people, but when it's kind of your turn to take your own advice, it becomes like, oh, fuck.
That's how you grow, though.
Right.
That's
But
definitely
and
how you grow is by, and it's in consultation with others that you trust, right? Because as soon as somebody will call you out on something, that's your weakness. And when somebody tells you a weakness of yours, it's up to you to to either accept it as a weakness or to, well, if you do accept it as a weakness, to cultivate it, right? And to learn from that experience to be a better whoever you are.
And that was kind of another one, is that, yeah, I think like from the like relationship part and like having the robot control, like you control this robot thing, it's like we all want the outcome of like, I don't know, I guess a happy relationship or something, but with none of the struggle, and like the struggle is the part you need instead of just the outcome. Like you can't,
Yeah. And without the downs, there aren't ups.
right? If it's always like even when there's times when I'll play video games and it's like set too easy, and then like I'm constantly winning, so it just feels kind of like, well, this is like kind of, why am I doing this then? There's no
Challenge,
yeah, there's no achievement, there's no,
no
I guess,
learning.
like, yeah, like you're saying, there's no growth, there's nothing that this is adding to in my life. I'm not gaining anything from this. And whether it is a useless video game skill or whatever, like it's still something in your brain that makes you feel that. And I guess I would say it's not just a feeling, like it is doing something that you're, there is some sort of growth.
Absolutely. Absolutely, because there is like satisfaction after you do something good, right? So after you accomplish something, your brain technically gets boosted with with happy neural chemicals that happen, right? They go through your brain and you're just like, "Wow, I won. I got all of this." Hey,
Yeah, but
somebody popped on and then left.
but you got it with the struggle. If you just got it, like if essentially if you can do something that everyone else can, then kind of what's the point of doing it?
Well, I think that there's still some kind of like satisfaction in it,
Right,
but then it won't last as long.
right. That's what I'm saying. Is like there. I guess there's more to it once there's more of a struggle. It's like a more, and that was the other word that kind of came to my head during the movie. It was like there has to be more at stake, more of a sacrifice. Like what am I giving up in order to gain this? And I think that's also been what they kind of talk about love and stuff, and how they how the robot describes it, and it's like um I
Pain.
yeah, but it was also like, to me that's the thing that I think has been missing, and from what I see people struggling with it, is like that you have to sacrifice something, and with all these like red flags and stuff, it's like, yeah, I understand that there are red flags, but like there still has to be some sort of calculated risk, because to how many of us self-reflect on what are our own red flags? Like it's easy to point out other people's red flags. What red flags do I have? What's the size of my flag? How many? What's the frequency?
Right, but a lot of people, so like I'm speaking for myself in this, is like it isn't until you're posed with some kind of challenge that you would even address that,
Hmm.
right? Like we go about thinking that our intentions, or that you're trying to make this other person happy. You're trying to have kosher relationships. That's what you try to do, right? Like, so I work with kids, and the kids always are wanting to please the person. Like sometimes you'll have a little bit of a headbutt, right? But it's because it's a difficult challenge for them. But once you foster it and show them like you can do this, then they're like, oh, okay. And then they want to do good a lot of the time. And so like I think that's the basic part of a relationship. But like in the movie it even gets addressed, and he's like, why do people do this shit? Like why are they doing this? It's fucked up shit. And he's like, I don't know, some of them lock them in the basement and do whatever. Like when you're owning this thing, why do they do it? And he's like, you're gonna see in this world, there is so much fucked up shit. And like that's how it is. Some people are crazy. I was watching a documentary. I like true crime. And some of them are they're uh, beaten into crazy. Does this guy have a fish? He does. That's so
Oh, did he?
fun. Oh no.
No, it's something
Crickets.
else.
It's probably crickets.
Nice.
Ooh. So ooh, I don't want bugs. Ready in the car. Oh, sorry.
All right. Yeah.
Go and see this movie. It's so loaded with like different stuff. Like I think I'm just rambling on because like I liked it so much, but I can't pinpoint
Yeah, you can't.
why
It's hard
or what just yet, and I need some more time to enjoy it.
to process.
Yeah, I mean, there's not much to process with. I mean, there's a lot of it in it, but like, I don't have to like be deep with it. That's to
No.
me what processing is, right? I have to
I know,
process
but
it.
that was the joke in the movie too. Remember?
Oh, I'm so slow. Dang it, I need to be fed. That's what happens when I don't eat at the theater.
Our intelligence meter needs to go up or whatever.
Rude. And I gotta go read another book or something.
All right.
Cool.
That's it.
Bye. That's not like Instagram.